Susan wiped the grease from her hands and squinted at the damaged drone, hovering uncertainly outside her workshop bay. It was the 5th morning in a row, and like clockwork, the little Chigsari scout drone had returned with fresh damage. "Back again, huh?" she muttered, waving it inside. The drone, no bigger than a basketball, limped through the air on malfunctioning gravitic stabilizers, its metallic carapace scorched and dented. Susan had learned not to ask questions. On Outpost Tertius, a dingy trading station at the edge of the frontier sectors, broken things showed up at her door constantly. Most people didn't care why something was broken, only if it could be fixed. Evan looked up from the plasma coil he was calibrating across the workshop. "That's the same one from yesterday." "Yeah," Susan said, already reaching for her tools. "Same owner, different damage. You think someone's using it for target practice? Maybe. Or it's a courier running dangerous routes." Susan activated her diagnostic scanner, the device humming as it painted the drone's internals in holographic blue. "Either way, it keeps coming back, and credits are credits, except there were no credits." The first morning, Susan had waited for payment authorization. None came. The second morning, she'd tried to track the drone's ownership signature, but the registration was scrambled, typical for the gray market tech that flooded stations like Tertius. By the third morning, she'd stopped caring about payment. Something about the little drone tugged at her. Maybe it was the way it waited patiently while she worked, its optical sensors following her movements. Maybe it was because fixing things was what she did, payment or not. Her father had been the same way, a mechanic who couldn't walk past a broken machine without stopping to help. "You're too soft," Evan said, though there was no malice in his voice. He'd worked with Susan long enough to know arguing was pointless. "And you talk too much," Susan replied, carefully soldering a severed power conduit. The damage was always different. Day 1. Fried motivation cores. Day 2. Fractured armor plating and a cracked sensor array. Day 3. Corrupted navigation firmware. Day 4. Projectile impacts that had nearly torn the gravitic stabilizers apart. Today, someone had hit it with what looked like an electromagnetic pulse weapon. Half its systems were scrambled. It took Susan 3 hours to restore functionality. When she finished, the drone performed a little barrel roll, its version of gratitude, she'd decided, and zipped out into the station's corridors. Evan shook his head. "You know that thing's probably involved in something illegal." "Probably," Susan agreed, already moving to her next project. On the 6th morning, the drone didn't come alone. Susan was elbow-deep in a freight hauler's engine when Evan's voice cut through the workshop. Susan? We've got company." She emerged to find the small drone hovering in the bay entrance. But this time, it was accompanied by a Kishari. A tall, insectoid alien, with 4 arms and chitinous armor that shimmered iridescent purple. Behind the Kixari stood 3 guards, hulking Vraxian mercenaries with plasma rifles slung across their backs. Susan's heart hammered, but she kept her expression neutral. "Can I help you?" The Kixari's mandibles clicked a sign of agitation. Its translator implant crackled to life. "You have been repairing my property. Your drone's been coming to my shop." "Yeah. I fixed it. Without authorization. Without payment." Susan crossed her arms. "It showed up broken. I fixed it. If you've got a problem with that, I have questions," the Kixari interrupted, its compound eyes fixed on her with unsettling intensity. "This unit is military grade. Kixari reconnaissance technology. Its systems are encrypted with quantum-locked security protocols. Its construction incorporates materials unknown to human databases." The alien took a step forward. "Yet, you repaired it. Repeatedly." "How?" Susan blinked. "I looked at what was broken and fixed it." One of the guards shifted, hand drifting toward his rifle. The Chiksari raised a hand to stop him. "Impossible. These systems require specialized knowledge of Chiksari engineering. The encryption alone should have prevented access." "Look," Susan said carefully, "I don't know about encryption. I just know machines. Circuits are circuits. Power flows or it doesn't. Moving parts move or they don't. The language doesn't matter if you understand the grammar. The Chiksari's mandibles clicked rapidly. Confusion, Susan had learned. Or disbelief. You comprehended military-grade technology through intuition? Through experience, Susan corrected. 30 years fixing everything from human shuttles to Zenthari mining equipment. You see enough machines. You start to see the patterns. The universal principles. Evan, wisely, had moved to stand near the emergency exit. The Chishari was silent for a long moment. Then, it gestured to the drone. The little machine zipped forward, projecting a holographic display schematics for something massive and complex. A ship, Susan realized. A warship. Judging by the weapon arrays. This is a Kigzari dreadnought, the alien said. It was damaged in combat 3 cycles ago. Our own engineers have been unable to restore its primary weapons array. The systems are, how did you say it? Speaking a language they no longer comprehend. Decades of modifications have created incompatibilities. Susan studied the schematics, her mind already tracing power flows and system interdependencies. You want me to fix it? I want to understand if you can fix it. Maybe. I'd need to see it in person. Run diagnostics. The pay would be substantial, the Chiksari continued. Additionally, the Chiksari hierarchy values competence. Your station registration indicates you operate without guild affiliation, without formal credentials. The alien's tone shifted. Almost respectful. We have need of mechanics who see beyond protocols and recognize the universal language of machines. If you succeed, there would be opportunities. Susan looked at the hovering drone, at the alien who'd arrived with guards expecting a thief or a spy, only to find a mechanic who just liked fixing things. She grinned. When do we start? The Chikshari's mandibles spread the alien equivalent of a smile. Immediately. Gather your tools, Susan Reyes. Let us see if human intuition truly surpasses Kikshari engineering. As they left, Evan called after her. Still think she's too soft? One of the Vraxian guards actually laughed.